Hello. In today's video, I'm going to talk about something that I actually haven't covered at all. Let's start with what we are looking at on the chart. This is a standard chart with standard candles. You have the high, the low, the open, and the close. Although red candles, the open is up here. Green candles, it closes up here and the open is down here. So here's high, low. This is a green candle, so close and open. But there are other types of candles available that can produce interesting results. So before we get into too much, let's get something on the chart. Now I'm just going to quickly put something together that may not necessarily be all that award-winning profitable. Let's start with the DCA module. We'll move it to the main chart. And we'll put it on the primary scale. And now we'll get rid of all of the noise. And then we'll get our second chart. Our second indicator. Now, I want something unusual. Something not normally used, but still quite graphic. Let's go with a rune. That's a unique combination. Wait for TradingView to load. And now we'll set it up. Now this is not going to be a complicated strategy because I don't want to focus so much on the details of the strategy as I do on the merits of how it works in relation to the candlestick chart you are looking at. Let's make sure we are on historic candles. Now I'm going to set this to the least common denominator, which is strictly pure price only. The reason for this will become apparent in just a second. The most organic approach. And we'll get rid of some of the noise here. Okay, now that we have a pure organic buy and sell approach based solely on profitability of the algorithm. Buys are down here, sells are up here. Let's zoom in only to the DCA chart. 0.3% profitability, max purchases per cycle 183. Not that great of a recipe, but it demonstrates what we need. Now, bear in mind this chart. Let's zoom in a little bit. We have the standard candles. Now I'm going to switch to a candle style called Renko. Now you'll see your average profit is 1.9% with 67 trade cycles. Let's go back to the original. 46 trade cycles at 0.3% profit. Renko candles are 67 trade cycles at 1.9% profit. So now let's cover the details. Let's start with time elapsed. Renko has a very unique process in that time is completely irrelevant to the way these candles function. It doesn't matter how long it takes for a bar to function or to fill up. Renko candles, often called bricks, are based upon a very set fixed size. Red bricks are when the price drops in equal increments from the previous brick. Green bricks are when the price goes up by an equal amount. That could be in pips, that could be in dollars, it doesn't matter. This particular one, which is the default, uses average true range to decide exactly what the size of the brick is. From the standpoint of Renko, the reason why the time is so messed up is, as I said, time is irrelevant to this recipe. It could take 1 minute or 1 day to create one single brick. And let's back this up and take a look at the chart. If you're thinking this is a hot mess for this recipe, you're right, it is. Which is why I wanted this particular combination to demonstrate the uniqueness of Renko. And we are going to look at a few well-established recipes a little later on, but for now, Renko is with no time limitations. Whereas the standard candle is driven solely by time. That may or may not be beneficial. Renko is driven by price action only, and price action is driven by volatility. So a market with poor volatility is going to have a very slow candle count on Renko. But a market with extremely high volatility is going to have a very high volatility or movement rate within the Renko. That, of course, translates into profitability. And very little work needs to be done within Jackrabbit to calculate and convert between different charts. Typically speaking, the values you use in Renko are often going to be smaller than the values you use in a traditional chart. But as you can see from this example, oftentimes these same values work very well. Now let's find a recipe. Any recipe will work. Let's go with the one that has been very profitable lately. And we will compare it between Renko. Okay, I want this one. Clicked on the wrong one. and the traditional chart. Now, let's go to the traditional chart. This has been a very profitable coin. Has done very well, has had very minimal position requirements to really come up with stellar profits. And as you can see, it looks very clean. Under Renko, here is the same chart. No changes to the settings. And yet, look at the differences. Here is the original. 31 with a 2.3% average profit. Renko, 2.4 with 15 trade cycles. Now let's go see if we can find a transaction. Okay, here's a transaction in Renko. Let's zoom into it. Here we go. Let's hide the DCA and let's bring up the moving averages, which is a Rule 37. And as you can see, the thing about Renko is because it only tracks price, you can see exactly when and where to get in and out of the market nicely. Here is Parabolic Sar. Got in down here, got out up here. Let's see, this is a .9, 4.3. It's a pretty significant distance if you wanted to just use that. But now if you're just doing a flat take profit. But let's step this up a little bit. Let's see what it would do with the strategy. Renko tends to bring more out of the strategies. 12% profit. Now let's see how it looks. 10% profit. Renko tends to give you more profits than you will likely see on a regular chart. So even though you have smaller time frames, your charting can show different combinations in ways that can lead to better profits. For example, 5% profit on Renko. The traditional chart is only 3% average profit with a maximum of 22. So Renko is great for finding trends. Notice the average is 3, the maximum is 9. The trends are easy to see. And if you have an exchange with very small fees, the trends are easy to get in and out of as well. Now, before you go switching all of your charts over to Renko, remember it's a give and take. No system is perfect. Every system has its good and its bad, and it depends upon the market and the asset to determine whether or not a particular recipe is going to be beneficial. I like Renko for some coins because it does well. For other coins, there's not enough of a difference to make it stand out. Let's zoom this one in. This is a traditional chart, and we need to go to a higher time frame. Okay, 43% average profit. That is quite good, but I have a feeling this may be too repressive. Let's see what Renko has to say. Yep, it is. I'm going to have to find something else a little less surgical. Again, this highlights, as I said, some of the difficulties with Renko versus traditional. Not every opportunity is going to be openly visible. And I am just batting a million here and not doing well at all. Okay. Let's see. Let's try this one, and hopefully we will find something that we can use. Okay, 6 trades, 2% average. Three trades, 2% average, so not much of a difference. But it does have a limit of 3 maximum positions. So that's good there. Let's see if we can find something that lets it shine. Renko does do better with strategy versus take profit. But of course that means finding the right combination. And this one's going to be hard to beat. But still, that's good. So as you can see, Renko isn't always the best choice, particularly if you've tuned carefully to a standard chart. Okay, let's see if we can find something a little more aggressive. And I am just not getting it well at all with this. Okay, now I know this will rock it out. There we go. 20 trades, 1.6. Now let's see what Renko has to say. "46 trades, and I hit the DCA. .8%, 14 trades, but 150 positions. .34 positions. So in this case, Renko is not a benefit. at least not on TRX. But let's be honest, TRX isn't exactly a benefit for a coin anyway. 50 positions, 8% profit on Renko. 28 positions, 2% profit on Renko. Or excuse me, on traditional. So in this case, Renko outperforms traditional. And these are the kind of things that you need to look at when you pick which one you want. I would definitely trade using this chart. It's a little higher for the positions, but your profitability is significantly higher, as is your trade count. But it also demonstrates that tenuousness between volatility and price, where you see here more volatility versus the traditional candle. So as you progress and move between Renko and your traditionals, those are things you're going to need to pay attention to see which ones are going to do best. Now, the one thing I do need to make clear is this does not work well if you are only using price action based technical analysis, such as the savings account. If you're using something that factors in volatility, in this case the way JR-Ling does, then Renko can be very valuable. But the savings account or a few of the other options available, not so much. So as you check and move back and forth between your assets, don't forget to take a look at the one place that could be a hidden treasure trove. And remember, anytime you get off of the beaten path, you open more opportunities than you may otherwise have in a lot of cases. Renko is not perfect. Renko does not count time the way the traditional candlestick structure does. That is both an advantage and a disadvantage, depending upon your trading style. Only you will be able to evaluate each chart as I've done here. Some charts just aren't going to do well, as you have seen from me trying to find a coin that did do well. Some charts are simply going to really rock out the profits. These are the kind of coins that will benefit well from Renko, and the ones that are worth evaluating. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or put them on the Jackrabbit support server. But as you progress, always look for the numbers. Always look for the profits. Until next time.